Hi, thank you for joining us for Mom Talk. Today we're going to be discussing families of all sizes. How big everybody wants to have their family, what works for them, and if they plan on having more kids. So first we're going to start off with introducing ourselves and saying how many kids we have. So I'm Yvette, I have 2 children and we want to have more. How about you, Anka?
Just one. I have one daughter and that's it for me.
I have 5 and I'm done. I don't want any more.
I have 2 and we do want more. We don't know when, but we do want a lot more. Hopefully.
Good.
I'm Michelle. I have 6, 3 boys and 3 girls, and I'd like to be 10 because I think that's a perfect number.
Okay, so I guess we can start off asking, so what is it like, because you have 6 and you have 5, so what is it like to have a big family?
It's a lot of fun. They've always got someone to play with. Even the kids vary. They're all 2 years apart. From my oldest is 11, my youngest is 9 months. And so in there, they always have someone they can play with, and the big ones like to help with the little ones, and the little ones want to be with the big ones. And so it's a lot of fun.
Awesome.
My 4 older ones are a little more closer together, from 14 to 10. And then I have a big 6-year gap there with the last one. But as they're older, it's nice because they want to, I want to play mommy, I want to change the diapers, I want to do all that kind of stuff. So that's a lot of fun.
Yeah, the older ones are big helps with the little ones.
They really are.
Awesome. Well, you have 2, so
Yes.
what's that like?
It's,
Then you're young.
yeah, it's never stops. It's always kind of busy during the day. They're like a year behind each other. One's 1 and one's 2. So I'm a new mom too, so every day is like a new day. I'm learning stuff every day. And I'm always trying to figure out stuff to do there at home with them. But it's good because they're like close together, so they like learn. They're both kind of like, I guess one's an older brother, but still they both like learn from each other because they're so close. So it's kind of cute because they just follow each other
Oh,
around.
that's nice.
They're little buddies.
Well, I have 2, and mine are 4 and 2 years old. So they're a lot of fun. It can get really hectic sometimes because they'll fight and stuff, and the younger ones climbing everything. But it's a lot of fun. My husband and I are probably going to try to have 1 more because he really wants a boy. And then we eventually want to adopt, but we want to adopt older kids, not the younger ones that are going through taller phases.
Do you want to adopt like older than your kids or just older, like maybe starting 4 or 5 years old?
No, older than my kids, probably 9-year-olds. They're harder to place in families, so we want to adopt kids that are hard to find a home for.
Well, I'll tell you, after you have the 3rd one, you can add like 10, right?
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't matter because you don't know.
There's a big transition from 1 to 2 and then 2 to 3, but after that,
You're like,
these ones are older, and so it's just like you have 1 or 2, and then you got helpers also. So, you know.
with number 1, you're thinking, it's, oh my gosh, I'm so busy, everything's a big deal, and then number 2, you're like, well, I got 2 hands, it's okay. And then number 3, and you're like, oh my goodness, I only have 2 hands. And so when you have the 4th, you're like, whatever, I didn't have a hand last time. So
Yeah.
just add as many as you want, it doesn't matter. But you do treat like the 1st one and the 2nd one and the 3rd one really a little bit different, because you're like buying the nice diapers and the making sure they're all clean and everything, reading to them and whatnot. And as you get down the line, you're just like, read to your brother. It really does change after a while. You're like, I got this. Like the first one was Lamaze. I went to the Lamaze, and the second one I was like, oh, I better freshen up the Lamaze. It's been a year, And then after that, the 3rd one, I was like, I remember how to breathe, and I didn't use it the last time. Past that time, it's really like 3's the kicker, because past that, I'm like, I got this. Hold on. I just really think 3 is that mark. If you get past there, it doesn't matter.
That's good.
I heard it was after 2, but I guess it's after 3.
Yeah, they lied. It's 3.
No, 2. I was like, oh, it's okay. We've had 1. It's just me an extra, and it's not gonna be a big deal. It's different
Well, I think
having
with
2 kids, but it's nice because they play together, and I love seeing them
Interact.
growing together and interacting. It's so cute, and I'm like, oh, you're gonna be best friends. I'm excited.
Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Well,
Yeah.
the first one, you really learn that you take your heart out and your heart's walking around all over the place. And
Yes.
you're trying to protect it and everything. And then you have the second one and you're thinking, how can I love somebody as much as I love
had my first, and then I was pregnant. I had a lot of guilt because I was pregnant with the first. So I felt like I didn't get to do like a lot of things that I wanted to do. And then I was doing it with my second because I never got to do it with my first. So I was like, it was all like mixed emotions and a lot of like trying to balance it and trying to say it's okay to love another kid. Like, you know, even though it obviously is okay, it's your child, but still you want to feel like, you know, you're giving even to both.
They do need that time, you know, that, you know, you might not be able to equally spread it among all of them, but you can do activities together to where they don't feel left out.
Yeah,
So that's one of the reasons.
'Cause you have
One
one
of the
child,
reasons why I don't want another child. I never wanted from the beginning to have more kids. I always knew that okay, if I'm gonna have a child, it's gonna be just one and that's it. But after I had her, just reinforced it that okay, I really don't want more kids. I think it's impossible for me to love another child as much as I love her, and I'm also selfish. Like, no, I don't want her to share anything. Even though maybe that's not that good, because it's not good to raise a spoiled brat. But right now I feel that hey, she's my baby, and it's gonna spoil her. And but I think it's great that for people who have more kids, and I think it's awesome that they can grow up together, and the benefits when they're gonna grow up and have siblings, and you know, and they're not gonna be kids anymore. Because I know I have my sisters, even they're so far away, I'm not alone.
Yeah.
So, but in a way, I feel selfish that I don't give that to my daughter. But like, she has enough siblings, like cousins and that to love her, so it's fine.
I can, like, for me, like, I totally understand what you're saying because I felt very much like when we were thinking about getting pregnant, I was like, man, it's just Desiree. You know, all I could think about was I couldn't imagine, like, my husband and I would sit there at a table when we were eating dinner and I'd be pregnant and I'm like, can you imagine another child sitting there? We couldn't even fathom the thought, and now we can't do it with, you know, can't think about it with a third one. But, you know, when I had Alexis, it was like amazing. You know, I felt so happy, and now they play together. It's just like, it's so awesome to see. But I did have a lot of guilt whenever Alexis was born, because you know, when a newborn is so demanding. So I would nurse Alexis, and Desiree is doing anything and everything possible to get my attention, getting into trouble, dancing in front of me, like, and I'm like, I'm here, I just can't get up. So it was really hard. Like, I would cry because I felt like I was being a bad mom, not giving her, you know.
But you don't want to
Exactly.
rob the new baby of that
Yeah. So
time that the first one got.
yeah. See, and that's what makes it hard. Like, I felt like, okay, well, she got all this attention now, and now I have this newborn that needs attention too. So you want to, you know, like you said, give her that attention, but then I'm missing out on her third year. So, you know, you feel like, I felt like I was getting pulled every which way. Like, I felt, it was very conflicting for me.
Yeah. You get pulled in all different directions.
That's another thing that I saw, like moms that they have a toddler running around, and then the baby needs attention because it's tiny, and then the toddler wants mommy attention, and he feels a little bit left out. And I'm sure that moms compensate for that, but I don't wanna do that. But then on the other hand, I hear moms with more kids how fun is for the kids, and when they play together, and I see my daughter being at home bored, that she doesn't have anybody to play with. So it's like, okay, you make me feel bad now, but it's not gonna happen. That's not enough.
Well, you just
Take a play date.
You make them mommy's little helpers when
Yeah.
they're feeling left out. It's like, okay, well, if baby needs a diaper change, go get me the diaper.
That's
You're gonna
right.
get the wipes for me? Pull them out for me. Like,
Yeah,
you just,
I learned
you
that.
help them, get them to help you,
Get
and
them
then,
involved.
you know, they
Yeah,
feel
so-
included in the
Like-
family time.
My son's 2, and he's already like learning like that's he calls him his der, my brother, but he says der.
Oh, cute.
And then he's always like, I'm like everything I give him, he's like der. And then like I'll put him up on a chair or something, and we'll hang out, and then he'll be like der to bring der, like
Oh,
he's already getting.
Desiree does that with
Yeah, he's getting to that point where he feels like, okay,
Include
everything's-
brother.
Yeah, include brother
That's
and
so
everything.
cute.
Or like, we always walk together, and I hold hands even during in the house, and he's always like, there, and even down to like 1 and 2, and they hold hands together and they'll walk. Even though my little 1-year-old's like getting dragged, but still.
And they're squeezing the fist like,
Yeah, it's like, get over here, like he's forcefully,
Yeah.
but still he runs, he tries to catch up, you know. But it's still, it's cool.
Yeah.
Mine were, my first four, well, there was 3 that were really close together. In 24 months, I had 3 kids, and that they're really close together. But I would say if I got to change something, I would not have them that close together, because it really, I really felt like I missed so much with them when they were little, because I was pregnant or tending to somebody else and grocery shopping.
Oh, that is fun.
Wait, when you're taking 4 of them to the grocery store
I can
and they're
imagine.
all like 4 and under.
See, I don't bring mine to the grocery store.
I didn't have anybody there. It was just me, and so you know, you can't put them all in the cart because
No, because
we're
then
in
your
the
cart's
groceries.
full.
You know, you have a carrier here and a carrier here, and now you come to Corpus Christi, and you know
They have
they're all slick with 2 seats and
Yeah.
Like, where's the
and they're
floor?
shopping
And
carts.
the parent that has like no kids with them, or one takes the one with the double awesome seater, like really,
Yeah,
your
did
child
you
does not know how to drive.
Like at the 6 months.
Taking the super cool car one, I'm like, really?
I think there are more challenges to having 3 or more kids. Like with vehicles, you have to think about something totally different, and something that people don't really think about a lot is going to a restaurant,
Yeah.
because it's not 4 will fit in a booth. You're like, I gotta wait 30 minutes
At
because I need a
least.
table for 7.
And they're probably always adding your ticket, huh? Adding for
Yeah, we have
Because
to add
we're
gratuity
6.
because we have 8. My
Yeah.
husband and I have 6 kids, so we get
Yeah.
gratuity added to it,
All the
and it
time.
takes at least half an hour to eat anywhere
Oh,
that we go
wow.
to sit down.
We always look for the kids eat free.
Yeah.
Where are the specials at? And that's where we'll go.
I do
And-
that too anyway. I'm like, you know, if you can save $1, why not?
And vehicles, you have to think about your vehicle if you're gonna add more kids, because you don't wanna try and cram 3 car seats. I had 4 car seats at one time.
Yes.
And you had to really think about, you know, do I wanna buy this and it's too small?
We
Yeah.
had to upgrade our vehicle 4 times because we kept adding kids. I was like, oh, we just paid this one off. Okay. Oh, we just paid that one off. No, okay. But you gotta have room for everybody. So.
Yeah.
There's a lot of challenges,
But it's fun.
yeah.
I've seen one of those, what do they call the big vans?
The cargo van?
12
Yeah.
passenger vans?
I've seen those and they're full of kids and I was like, oh, it's like a school thing. But it's a family, like they got out and I'm like, but it's cool though. And then in the back it had that
My husband
sticker.
wanted to get one. I said, no.
We can fit in a normal
We
one.
can fit in a normal one. We've got 6 in the back now and 2 in the front.
We're good.
We're got a pilot. It's awesome.
That's cool.
How do you deal with the kids in the car when they start fighting and you're driving and
You turn the TV on.
just
If you have a TV.
all the
Otherwise,
cars have.
I don't know
you
what
do not want me to pull over.
I don't think
No,
that.
I
It's not really, yeah.
It's not a big problem because we seat them next to ones they don't fight with.
That's
Yeah.
right. You gotta be
You
slick.
got it. Whenever you're going, same with eating in the restaurant.
Yeah.
If you know certain ones are going to get into arguments or
You
take stuff from each other,
separate
you
them.
separate them at the beginning. That's not a
They don't
problem.
have issue with
Yeah.
sitting, no, I like
Exactly.
that seat better, or.
Nope,
You just tell
They
them.
don't get a choice.
You tell them who the
This
boss
is your
is.
seat.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry.
you're the
Yeah,
parents.
that's it.
Mhm.
And then they're fine. Kids like boundaries. It's good to, they push them, but they respect them.
So are y'all big on like taking time for each child? Because like even I only have 2, but still I make sure like I have time with one individually. Like I'll take
Yeah.
one out to even if it's just an HEB, but I still have one
It's-
HEB.
Yeah,
And,
it's
like
a
I'll
huge deal.
tickling them and like, come on, let's go over here. We're gonna go get some eggs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, they're like, you know, but they're laughing at me. They don't know what the
Yeah.
heck's going on. But still, I try to make sure I spend like.
Yeah,
And
I do that with
time.
the girls. Like sometimes, like if one of them, if I'm going like you said grocery shopping, I'll take one or the other, and it's always like, even if it's a grocery store, like you said, it's
Yeah.
like, oh my god, I'm gonna go to the store, you know. But it's just
Yeah,
one
like,
one on one
whether-
time. You get to talk to them while you're out, or like Alexis doesn't really talk much, but I'm like, look at this orange and feel the orange. Like and she's just interact. It's nice to have just like. All right, I got one child. I can spend this time with you, and you know, and then the other one's spending time with daddy. So that's good.
It seems like a challenge now when you only have 1 or 2 kids, you know, that you want to make sure you equal your time out and stuff, and how am I going to do it with a large family? But with a large family, it is more challenging, but you figure it out. I don't really know how to explain it. You're mother instincts come in and you're just like, I got this. And you just do it.
When I had 4 kids, I tried to block a schedule. To, okay, I got 10 minutes with this kid. We can do whatever they want. And I got 10 minutes with this kid and 10 minutes with this. It was exhausting. It's like, oh, no. I mean, try to plan activities that you know certain ones like. And so that way they still get to choose different things. But in trying to just spend time with one of them at a time is also not healthy. It's good to have some time, yes. But like our family did a picnic today. And one daughter planned it, a couple helped pack, the food, some helped carry it, and then we all ate together, So you still have that family time, but they still got to put their input and be helpful, and then went to play the different parts together, at the park.
They feel important.
They feel important. They get that individual, acceptance, but we're still a family. It's not about breaking us into individual units, because then this one wants your time, and then this one wants your time. You can't be spread that far apart.
Yeah, it's kind of hard.
Yeah.
Especially with 6.
Yes.
Like, whoa.
Yeah. And working full time.
Yeah.
And you have people that look at you when you walk into a
Glare at you
department
when you
store
go in.
and they're like,
Yeah.
are those all yours?
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're like, yeah. No, they're just following you.
It's true.
Like, well, I think those looks a lot.
A lot.
I've never really had.
I had
something
the
to do.
I had the same thing, like, oh my god, I feel sorry for you. I'm like,
Why?
why?
Like, kids
Because
are
I have
disease.
because I have a double seater ones. You can tell they're 1 and 2, and like sometimes one wants snacks or something. So I'm getting their snacks out because they're like, having a fit or something.
People-
I feel sorry.
I mean, you just get that, and it's like, why would you feel sorry for me? I have a family, and it's beautiful, and it's a blessing.
If you can do it, more power to you.
Yeah.
Well, you probably get the opposite. You probably get the people that are like, why aren't you having more than one? That's terrible.
Yeah, kind of. People start looking at me like, okay, really? You're only gonna have one? What kind of person are you that you're only gonna have one child? Why? You don't love kids? I love kids, but
That was your choice.
So I'm curious, what is it like as far as financially having a big family? What's that like?
The best friend you can have is a budget, because you need to know where every dollar goes, because otherwise you don't want to be going month to month going, I don't know if we can pay all our bills. You need to know what your bills are going to be, how much money you have for groceries, how much you have for electricity, how much you have for gas, and then you also need some spending money. You have to allot it, otherwise you'll pull it from other stuff and you won't have it for things you're going to need later.
Right.
You as a husband and wife, you need an allowance basically. That's your money. You can, even if it's $40 a month, or depending on your
Budget.
finances,
Yeah.
Budget yourself a certain amount. You can save it up to something you want, or you can spend it if you want to go eat at a restaurant all the time. But it's your money to spend on whatever. That way you don't dip into y'all's family budget, and everything gets paid off, and you can still put some away in savings.
Yeah.
That takes away a lot of the stress and burden when you're trying to raise a big family.
But it's not impossible, and I think a lot of people think that it is impossible. I only make this much money. There's no way I can have, a large family. You
Oh,
can.
yes,
You
you
just have
can.
to be smart and
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You really can do it, and I hate that some people are turned off by it.
They don't have the finances for it.
Like, we don't have a big family, but we have a budget, and it's on a spreadsheet, and I know where everything's gonna go.
Right.
And Anthony and I, we figure out our own things, and we've given up stuff just because we just don't wanna. Like, we had our cell phones, and they were like $150 a month for Sprint phones, those nice ones.
Bye.
And I was like, okay, crack it. So we pay like $70 a month now, so we
Yeah.
save in half.
Exactly.
So we just figured out, okay, what do we need? Okay, we don't need to eat out as often.
No, street talk is like 50. It's cheaper.
For
That's
two
where I am.
Oh, that's good to know.
I know. No, I'm just kidding. Go.
But we budget our eating. We make our schedule for as far, not schedule, but meal planner.
Mhm.
So that helps
That
a
can
lot
help
too. Like, instead of just buying junk that's gonna.
Right.
So we don't eat out as much as we used to. We used to eat out a lot.
And especially as the family gets bigger, it gets so expensive to eat out.
No. Once they turn 4, it's like, man, it's not free.
It's not free
anymore.
Especially when they hit that 10-year-old mark too, then they, go up to the adult menu on some of them, so.
Oh,
You
really?
Eat more.
Right.
You're like,
They're
oh,
still-
they're still
She's
mine.
still 10, I swear.
since you have one child, do y'all
Yeah.
get to do more stuff? And what's your budget
Depends.
like?
Well, the first year, like Becca said, you go a little bit crazy.
Yes.
Oh, it's my first child. And if you go to a toy store as an adult, you want everything over there, let alone a
I
kid.
didn't have that. Yeah.
So I was going a little bit crazy. Like every time I was going out with her, even though she was in the baby car seat and she wasn't even able to look at the toys. But like,
Yeah.
oh, I think she will like this one.
She'll
And
do
I'll
it in
buy
6
it.
months, yeah.
And then I'll take it home and I show it to her and she will start crying over it. She was like, this is scary or something.
You need to buy something else.
That's paying for that rock
Yes,
for you.
I needed to buy something else, but oh, she doesn't like it, so now I need to go out and buy something more. So it's a little bit crazy the first year. And then I start slowing down a little bit because I didn't have a place where to put toys anymore and I had to get rid of them.
Right.
And then I realized like, oh, I could go on a vacation with this money that I spend on these
That's
toys that
right.
she doesn't even care about.
Yeah.
All she cares about is spread them all over the house and that's it. Just so she sees them like that.
Play with the box.
So,
Give my child a box.
so now I start like, okay, well you can play with this, look at it in the store, but okay, now the toy is going night-night in their house over there on the shelf and we're going home with our toys. So,
Yeah.
kind of, and doing stuff, we don't do much as in traveling and that, and over here I don't really know what.
Well, your husband's
do around.
military, so you'll get to move a lot. That's gotta be nice.
Depends.
Yeah, sometimes.
That's a subject for another.
Yeah. So what do you think about big families?
I think it's great if you want to do it and if you can do it, but it's not for.
Yeah.
Even though, as I said earlier, I feel a little bit of guilt that I'm robbing my daughter from that siblings that she could have, and especially when she's older, like I know how I'm with my sisters, and I was like, oh, she can have that. And her cousins everybody's far away, so it's like, well, she's gonna get older and she can travel, she can go see them, so I'm trying to convince myself that it's okay. I'm good.
I think it's cool either way you see it, like, because I could step into your shoes and be like, oh man, how much fun I could have when I hear you talk with like one child, you know? Then I'm listening to them talk, I'm like, gosh, I can't wait till I have like 5 or 6 kids. It sounds so much fun. And then, so it's kind of like, I could see the 2 different loves, you know, but it's one love, so that's what's awesome, you know?
You can have fun with one child, you can have fun with 10 kids.
Yeah.
Everything is different, like different
Yeah.
kind of fun, but
Right.
still.
A friend of mine, they have one child, and I now remember asking them, no one want to have any more kids? Like, no one for her to play with and stuff? And I remember, cause I asked because I talked to him before he even got married or even knew the person he married, and he was like, well, I was an only child, I don't want to do that, I want to have a sibling for my kids. And then when they decided not to, I was like, okay. But I see also their posts on Facebook where the little girl is a year older than Desiree, she's 5, and they go fishing with her, and they just have one to watch. I'm like, no, it should not be like they're running in different directions. You know what I mean? And they're like, well, we're gonna get to save up enough money for college, and if she wants a car or whatever she wants, we can do it because it's only one. And I'm like, well, I remember just not having as much financial responsibility. I mean, adding one, it did make like a huge difference, but still, I mean.
I think you have to make there's a financial choice that you have to make for yourself. And my kids are older, most of them are older, but I thought I want to not worry about paying off a house or not worry about paying off a new car or something like that. I don't, extra money, whoever owns that, would go to a house or something, but to give them the nicer things that they had, because I've only got them for this much time. It's only 18 years, unless they hang around after.
They might not want to leave.
But I want to be able
Then they gotta pay for their
to.
own stuff.
That's right. I want to be able
Where's
to
your rent check?
provide them, the new cool shoes or whatever it is, instead of pushing the money, another place. And I think there's. I don't know anybody that's made that choice that I have made, but I think partially I didn't have that. All the cool kids were wearing all the cool stuff. drawing that blue spot on the back of my white shoes.
Yeah.
So people think that they're a certain brand. But I don't want them to have that. So,
Yeah.
you know, the more kids you have, a little bit harder, and especially if they're girls, because the boys, they really couldn't care less about what they wear, and the girls are like, I'm not putting that on.
Yeah.
You know, and you're like, I just bought these jeans, you're gonna wear them, and they're like,
Do I have to put them on you?
Like, Mom, you wear them.
How do you deal
Yeah.
with the sibling rivalry, like between the kids, if they're close, if they don't get along? Or...
Oh yeah.
Depends on what it is.
Sharing is caring.
Yeah.
no, that's just not this.
And the older ones will sometimes provoke the younger ones because my 5-year-old has a temper. And he's pretty fair until you change the rules on him. And the big ones like to change the rules on him. You know, he loves to race, so they'll race, but as soon as you change the rule and he loses, he's like, ugh, you know, and so for a while we were getting upset at him, not realizing that the older ones were provoking him and changing, you know, what was going on. So then we started listening to both sides, and we were telling the kids, you know, y'all are the ones frustrating him over here. You've got to change the way you're acting.
Yeah.
And that's why he's getting upset and hitting you, you know.
Yeah.
You're frustrating him. Cut it out. So I make them, you know, do different things to help.
That's a valid thing. Like you have to listen to them,
Both
no matter
sides.
how old they are. Because for a while there was like Desiree, stop picking on you. Like Alexa was like, ah.
Right.
Like stop picking on your sister. Like we already, because you get so
Thought
used to
that
it.
she was.
And then you start observing them, and it's like you're just stealing the stuff, and when she won't give it back, you know what I mean?
Then
Like
you make a sound.
yeah,
That's right.
she's just doing it on purpose. I'm like,
Yeah.
Alexis, and she's like, huh? So yeah, I mean, that's good. You have to watch them.
Yeah, for sure.
And especially when they don't think you're watching, so you can kind of see. So when they do come to you and say, so-and-so did this, and I said, yes, because you did this for first. Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, you did, I saw. But yeah, I was talking about that with Rebecca today, so you gotta look at the spectrum.
Yeah. Well, we're amazingly out of time, but that was a great conversation. And I want to thank you all for joining us for Mom Talk. We'll see you all next week.